Hey, it's Andrew Brown, and we are going to learn about disks within Compute Engine. So on the left-hand side, we'll go to Compute Engine, over to disks, and we'll create ourselves a new disk. So what I want to do is create a disk, and then we will mount it to a virtual machine. So let's say my alt disk. And you see we have the option for single or regional zone. I'm going to stick with single here today. I'm going to switch over to CA Central or CA Central North America, Northeast too. And I'm going to switch over to C specifically because when I was launching in A prior, it was saying there was no availability. That is a message that can just happen at any time. So if you are launching an instance of a disk and it doesn't work, just try another place and make sure everything's tied there, or just try in a little bit until one becomes available. So we have quite a few options here. We have blank disk, image, snapshot, instant snapshot, which is basically very similar to a snapshot, and an archive snapshot. We have a bunch of disk options, and you can compare your disk types here if you want to. We can choose a size. I'm going to do a odd size of this size, so maybe we'll do 12. I'll just make it easier for us to identify it when we mount it, and when we resize it, we'll have something that we can change the size to afterwards. So then here we can enable a snapshot schedule. I don't want to do that here today. It's not a bad idea to keep that checkbox so you have incremental backups. We can set a consistency group. We have our encryption key. We'll leave it as the standard Google Managed Encryption key. We can add labels. We can add tags. And we'll go ahead and create that. Okay? So we'll give that a moment to create. Now that our disk is created, what I want to do is go ahead and create a virtual machine and mount this disk. So we'll go ahead and create a new virtual machine. This will just be my instance, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to say my instance extra disk. And I'm going to make sure that it's in the same region and also in the same zone so we can mount it. I don't believe we can mount cross zone. We're going to choose an E2. We'll go down below, and I'm going to drop this down into an E2 micro so that we are saving money. Let's take a look at some advanced configurations. Actually, we don't want to do that. I want to stick with this. No, it didn't affect anything. Sometimes, I think it's when you go to custom, it affects it here. Anyway, we'll continue over to the OS and storage. We are utilizing Debian, so that's what it's defaulted to, and that's what I like to use. Notice here that when we're setting the boot disk, because that's what we're doing here, right? We are setting up our boot disk, that we could bring an image, a snapshot, or an archive snapshot, or even an existing disk. But we are technically creating a new disk right here. So in other providers like AWS, they don't make that distinction as clear that you're creating a disk here. But here it is clear that we're making one, and we can even choose the disk type here. So that should be pretty clear. And we're going to go with 10 here. We're going to add our additional disk. We're going to attach that existing one, and we'll drop it down here. We have read and write. I'm going to leave it on read write. We're going to keep the disk. I'll also give it a custom device name. This is just a way that we can reference it for mounting or resizing, though I never seem to ever do that. I just use whatever it's called in Debian or in Linux, and that's fine. I think that's everything that we care about. There is information for doing backups. You probably should have snapshots on schedule, but I'm going to turn that off because, again, this is just for showing things off. And if we go down below, exclude the boot disk. So save cost by only replicating data in non-boot disk. So lots of options for replication that you can set here, but that's everything we want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and create this disk or virtual machine. And once this virtual machine is spun up, we'll go SSH into it and begin the process of mounting. So any provider that you use will have a very prescriptive way in terms of how they want you to mount the disk, because there are some things that are specific to each cloud provider. But let's go take a look and look up GCP mount disk for their instructions. I have done this lab, I think, like 4 times because I have this problem when I reboot the machine. It just stops working because of fstab. But I asked my co-founder, also named Andrew, to fix it, and he pointed out my mistake. So I'm going to make sure I point that out to you, because if you just blindly follow this stuff, there is a step here where it copies information that you don't expect it to copy. But we'll get to that, and I'll point that out once this virtual machine is spun up, okay? All right, so it is ready. I'm going to go ahead and SSH over here. So we'll go ahead and click that. You can also SSH via G-Cloud within Cloud Shell, but I just click that and open it here this way. I find it super, super easy to do it this way. And we'll get into this machine. So now we're going to follow along here with format and mount. So, I mean, there is this command. There's another command that we can just look at disks. I'm trying to remember what's called FBLSK, I think it is. I don't remember what it is, but let's go take a look and ask Claude. As these are commands I don't normally remember. We'll say common commands to view disks on Linux. There's a couple. I think fdisk is one. Yeah, DH, DF, DH, DU, but I was thinking about this one here. So let's go take a look at list block devices. All right, so that one should be installed. Right, and so here we can see SDA and SDB. This is a naming convention based on, or by Linux, and I think specifically Debian, where it's going to name it SDA, B, C, D. It's just the order of when these are mounted. And so you'd think that SDA would be the boot disk, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But in this case, it actually is. SDA is the boot disk. But if you do this, it might be in a different order. So I wouldn't really worry about it. There's obviously DF-H. So that's going to show us how much space is on each one, right? That's actually available. So here you can see the boot disk, and some of it is being utilized, obviously. So there is more information there. But, and also, yeah, these, we can see that the boot disk is partitioned into 3 parts. So we have SDA 1, 14, and 15. And you can see we have 1 and 15 for its usage. I don't know where 14 is. I'm not really worried about it. But anyway, we'll continue on here now that we can see using LSBLK our disks and our partitions. Now this one obviously doesn't have any partitions yet. And actually we're probably not going to have more than a single partition here because of the file system we're going to use. But let's continue on and see what instructions we have. So here it says, in the terminal, use symlink created for your attached disk to determine which device to format. So we'll go ahead and we'll list this out here. And what they're showing here, or what they want us to see, is if disks have partitions or not, right? And their names, right? So here you can see that these are symlinked over to these. So I guess we can use this as the name, and this would go to the same place, more or less. But anyway, we have SDB, SDA. You can see this one has partitions. This one has no partitions. Okay, so we'll scroll on down, and we're going to use the MKFS tool to format this drive. So here they're suggesting do ext4 because you can use this file system without a partition, and also you can increase the size of your disk later on. I've been using cloud for so long that I've been using file systems where I'm so used to having to create those partitions manually, but this file format or file system is really, really nice, and we're going to use that here. So here they want us to specify the file system type, so we'll go ahead and enter that there. The other thing is the device name. This one is SDB, okay? But understand that for you, when you're doing this, it could be SDA, it could be something else. So just make sure you pay close attention. We do not want to format our SDA or our boot disk, right? Just the alternate disk that is there. So I'm going to go here and copy this command. We'll go ahead and paste it in. This runs really, really fast. And so now SDB is formatted. We'll scroll on down here, and we want to mount the disk. So this is just going to be the directory where we want to create it. The -p flag will make it so it will create all the subfolders. And you can mount it to disks. I normally like to have it on /mount and then the name, but we're going to just follow along here because they have it here, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm going to call this my alt disk. We're going to copy that command, and we're going to hit enter. And so now that directory exists. We will probably want to chmod that directory, give permissions. And here, this is the ability for us to mount it. So we'll go ahead and use the mount command. Okay. And then here they're saying configure read and write permissions, right? If you don't, you'd have to use sudo every time, and that's kind of annoying. So we'll go ahead and chmod. So the process here is pretty darn straightforward. It's not too bad. But yeah, Google Cloud's not bad, except for when they don't document things and then you shoot yourself in the foot. Okay, so we now have that directory and we can go ahead and create a file there. So I'm going to go over there and we're going to go and to this drive. I'm going to just make a new file called touchhello.txt. I'm going to open the contents of that file. You can use Nano or Vi. If you do not know how to use Vi and you're bad at it, use Nano. It'll make your life a lot easier. But because I know how to use Vi, I'm going to go ahead and use Vi. So I'm in Vi, and right now I'm in normal mode. I want to start writing, so I hit I on my keyboard to enter insert mode. If I want to get out of that mode, I hit escape. If I want to enter that mode, I hit I, okay? So I'm just gonna type in hello world, exclamation mark. I'm gonna hit escape, colon, to bring up commands, W, Q, write and quit. Okay, and so now I can cat out that file, and we can see that that file is written to disk. So one thing you'll probably want to do is configure automatic mounting, and this is where I run into trouble because I was following through here and there was something that was appended here that I didn't notice, and this happened both times, and so my co-founder had to take the disk, mount it to another machine. That's usually how you debug disks, right? So if you're having a problem with the disk and it's not booting up, you have to launch another virtual machine and then mount that disk to then go and inspect what the problem is. I didn't want to go through that process, so I had him do it. But here you can back up your other ones. Probably not a bad idea, so we'll go ahead and do that. So here is our backup. And here, use the BLI command to list the UID for disks. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. And so now we have here, well, this is for SDB. So we have to pay close attention to which one we want to list out. Yeah, it is SDB, okay. For me, right? Again, for you, it could be SDA. So we now have that there. And then the next area, it's asking us to replace the value here. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I think where I was messing this up is the fact that I wasn't adding the mount option. And so that's what my co-founder was telling me. So he was saying like, hey, here's your problem. You keep copying this command and you don't see that mount option there, right? And so what he said here was to just, this we say no fail. So that's what it's supposed to have. Let's give this a careful read here. So specify what operating system does if it can't mount the zonal persist. So for valid values, the fourth field in the FSTAB documentation. So here it's saying if the disk is unavailable, set it to no fail. So that is something we'll have to set. 4 times. I did this thing 4 times. Not only did I create 4 times, I created other labs, and it was quite the pain. So I'm really reshooting a lot of stuff. That's my voice sounds a little bit strained. So we'll go ahead and, well, that's the line we need, right? But it actually has to go into the correct file. So that's going to go into FSTAB. And here it doesn't say how to edit it, but we're going to use Vi. I'm going to put sudo in front of it because we probably have to because of what it is. And again, you can be sudo nano / etc. FSTAB or Vi. It's up to you. I don't even know what FSTAB stands for. My co-founder is a lot better at administrating machines. I'm more so a developer, so he knows all this stuff. So, but normally, let's see, what does this stand for? FSTAB, static information about file systems. Okay, not clear with the naming there. It's usually when you open up man, it will tell you as to why, but that's fine, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and do sudo Vi / etc. FSTAB. We're going to open that up. We're going to go all the way down. I'm hitting J and K. I have a Vim course, by the way, on my YouTube if you need to learn it. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this line. I'm going to go ahead and paste in this line. And so this time I made sure that it has no fail, and we'll hit escape. We'll do write and quit. So now what I want to do is just close this, and I want to make sure that this machine is going to reboot. And this is where I would run into a lot of problems. We're going to go ahead and stop this machine. So we're going to hit stop. We could restart, but I want to guarantee that this thing is stopped. Okay, so we're going to stop it. And then once it's stopped, I'm going to start it back up, okay? All right, so the instance is stopped. We're going to go ahead and start that back up there. And what I'm hoping for is that the instance will start back up. If it doesn't, what will happen is when we, like, it might start up, but when we try to SSH into it, it will give you a thing about the connection not working, and it'll talk about cloud IAP, but really what's happened is that it didn't boot up because it failed. So that shouldn't happen in this case because we have that no fail flag. But if you do have that issue, you know, the problem is what I just described, and the solution would be to take the disk and mount it to another VM and fix the problem, or just delete the VM and restart over, which is probably a lot easier to do. So that instance is now back up. I'm always surprised how fast these instances spin back up. I'm just used to waiting a bit longer. So it makes me think that they're not ready. But if it establishes a connection, we are in good shape. So let's go ahead and authorize that there. Okay. And so now we're back in there, and that is good. I want to do other things with this disk. And so we can do things like, if we go into my alt disk here, we can create a snapshot, we can create an image, clone a disk, things like that. So I'm going to leave this stuff running. If you don't want this stuff running, you can obviously destroy it. I'm going to do a cleanup video later, but I'm going to continue on in other videos doing other things with disks, okay? See you in a bit.